Dino, sitting here in a very different situation than we were at last year at the start of free agency, but can you sort of touch on how different this is as you go into this off-season heading towards NBL 25 compared to last year?
Yeah, the first difference is timing. We had the luxury of an extra month last year to really get process done on how we build our team. This year, going a month and going to the last game of the year, there's a little more urgency about the timing to make sure that we get everything perfect in preparation for free agency. But we're a long way ahead of last year with the number of players that we already have committed to the club on multi-year deals, and yeah, certainly a big area to fill with our bigs, moving into this free agency.
Yeah, you just touched on the bigs. Can you give us an insight into how potentially different that lineup is going to be looking? Joe Lualachul exiting and Ariel up in the air with his draft hopes.
Yeah, Joe has had some amazing opportunities over the last few years, and China was one that he explored 2 seasons ago and came back to us, and now there's some great opportunities for him to continue that path, but there's also a path about him, unfinished business about where he sits in the NBA landscape as well. So we wish him absolutely the best in his pursuit of both those overseas opportunities. Ariel, our job as a club was to always put him in the best position possible for this year's draft, and after a year-long injury, I think we achieved what we needed to achieve as a club, and himself as well, the growth that he's shown to put himself in on those draft boards and hopefully have the opportunity to be an NBA player. Yeah, there's obviously possibilities with Ariel about, does an NBA team want to put him in a stash situation, and certainly I think he and NBA teams will be favourable if that could be worked out as well. But yeah, there's a lot of time to go between that one, and I'm sure he'll go to Summer League, and it'll be difficult for an NBA team not to put him on their roster. So yeah, 2 pretty key guys. They formed a part of being the best rim protectors in the league, big contributor to us being the best defensive team in the league. And so as we try and fill those roles, we'll look for the defensive element that was really potent for us this year, but we'll also try and add, if we can, a little bit more shooting to our bigs as well.
Last season there was a clear focus on bringing in strong local Australian and New Zealand talent, supported by Ariel as a next star and Ian Clark as the lone import. Can fans and supporters expect something similar going into next season, or is that just completely up in the air at this point?
Yeah, we've been deep into the next star market to start with. Whether we can find someone as talented and as NBL ready as Ariel is always a challenge, but we'll continue to look at that area of the market. We absolutely loved what Ian Clark offered us as a veteran, great high-level scorer, great shooter, and perfect culture fit for our club. So there will be certainly conversations with him moving forward about the opportunity to, if he wants to come back, if it's a good fit. But there will be those conversations. The other ones are the same. We look, is there a high-level Australian, New Zealand talent that can fill especially these centre positions, and across the board, are those opportunities there? If not, we'll look at the import market. So in the perfect world, there would be a kind of a similar scenario to this season's makeup.
And I know it's obviously such a quick turnaround between the end of NBL 24 and the start of this off-season, but how much excitement is there already?
Yeah, getting back to being the best defensive team in the league was was, you know, a really good challenge and something that, you know, great commitment from our team to move forward. You know, really improvements in our offensive rating as well, you know, finishing, you know, second in the league in that area as well. And so continuing to find ways to open up the court, find great spacing, you know, how we continue to use, you know, some of these leaders in their combinations together. When I talk about that, and Shay and Delhi and Chris and Ian and other guys, you know, moving forward, just how we continue to improve in that area. But we want to get better, and we have to get better. This league continues to grow, and you already see in free agency about, you know, what teams are trying to put together, and it's important for us to say, yep, we were close, but we weren't good enough. We need to get better, and we're excited about how we build this roster to be better than last year.